So today, Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah, Sayyidina Muhammad ibn Abdullah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Inshallah, this is our second class for Hajj. Last time, or 2 weeks before, if you would, on July 1st, we've covered the Hajj Ritual 1, which basically covered the core unit of what? Of Hajj, which is basically we've covered Tawaf and Sa'i. Tawaf al-Qudum or Tawaf al-Umrah, and we've covered Sa'i. This is really the core basic of Hajj. This thing would be repeated at least 2 times, if not 3 times, during other incidences. So we're talking about Sa'i, we're talking about Tawaf, 7 times around the Kaaba, counterclockwise, praying 2 rak'ah behind the station of Ibrahim, and going Sa'i between As-Safa and Marwa. So that we covered about 2 weeks ago. Today, inshallah ta'ala, we're going to go into part 2, which is about Hajj rituals. We'll cover from the 8th of Dhul Hijjah what will happen day per day. We're going to take it, inshallah ta'ala, until the 13th of Dhul Hijjah. And we'll cover each one of those steps, inshallah ta'ala. Next week, on the 22nd of July, we'll cover logistics. So far, we've covered what we need to be doing as far as worship is concerned. Logistics into what are the things that we need to bring along, how to prepare ourselves at different stages, what are the things that we need to buy from the United States, how do we practice and prepare ourselves, basically again to prepare ourselves what? Psychologically into this trip. If I'm prepared for it psychologically and physically, and I am going to throw at you in most of those cases incidents that did happen. They are not fictitious, if you would, but things that may happen, so that if it happens to you, you are prepared. If it doesn't happen to you, what happened? You're passing like a breeze. It's fine. It did not happen, man. Lebeed told us about all of these things. People would tell me, Lebeed told us about all of these things. It did not happen. Alhamdulillah, it did not happen to you. But I'm telling you this so that you would prepare just in case it may happen to you, inshallah ta'ala. And the last workshop is only for the Raleigh group, if you would, and only Muammar would deliver that with the brother Hassan, who is in the back, and that is on the 29th of July. And he's going to meet again the same thing at 10:30 a.m. All of these meetings are where? In the women's prayer hall, inshallah ta'ala. So, last time I talked about men's sandals.
Excuse me, brother.
Yes.
Can I ask a question from the previous lecture? Do they actually on the speaker play this dua, what is it?
Labbaik Allahumma labbaik?
Yeah.
It really depends on the group.
No, in the masjid.
Masjid al-Haram, no, they don't do it. It is because people are going at different stages. Not all Hujjaj are going at the same time. So your group, a couple of buses, maybe half a bus coming in, another group from Yemen coming like 20 people, so they are making talbiyah. But for you, you've done it maybe 2 weeks ago. Because al-Hajju ashhurun ma'lumat, so you don't have to come on the 2nd, or you could come 2 months earlier if you want to, and do tawaf and sa'i al-qudum. So it depends when are you coming and when are you doing. Now on the 8th, as you leave, we'll talk about it, you will be, a lot of people will have doing the same thing at the same time on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah. We're making closer to each other, making talbiyah. Okay? So this is very important for men. You need to buy those sandals and practice walking into them. I am going to pass these to you, specifically to men. I'm going to pass them. And if you look, these are my sandals. They are Tiva, and they're big, huh? And I've been to Hajj and Umrah about 4 times in it, and I go twice to Maui, Hawaii into it. So I use it a lot. So it has been torn up. So you need to buy stuff like that. It is very important. And if you notice, I have tapes in here. Why? Because it rubs against my feet. So I have some tapes in order to release the pain. So you need, did I say need? Need something like that. Again, I'm going to pass them again. Pass them and have a look at it. This is the brand that I've used, Teva, which is really very good one. And if you could buy it from Amazon, and the price could go anywhere from 38 to 85, depending. So flip the colors, flip the sizes until you get something like that. They need to be plastic, not leather. They need to be open from the top as much as possible. Not many straps needs to be out here. And they need not to cover the ankle. So if I would take something like that, so this is it needs not to cover that ankle bone. The ankle bone is which one? Is this one right here. So the straps needs to go down here. That's why the advice is really for a person to go to a store and buy it and see how comfortable it is. Because your Hajj is going to depend on you. This is not for women, only for men, right? Because you're going to be walking and walking and walking. And when you're tired of walking, you're going to do what? You're going to walk some more. Okay? So we walked one day probably 21 miles without exaggeration. So you really need very, very good what? Good sandals, just in case the buses did not come or you got split from the group and you do have what? Got no other choice. What we call bus number 11, my feet. I have to move. My bus left me, so I have to get that. So, and you need a Velcro strap on the back. Why do you need a Velcro strap on the back? I mean, you could get a what? Cheap ones without strap on the back. What happened? What would happen if you don't have a strap in the back? A person would step on you and you would what? You would lose your sandals. So you have two options. What's option one? You're going to walk the next 14 miles and going what? The next option is to do what? Is go down and pick it up. What happened? And if you have 10,000 people behind you, what will happen to you? As-salatu ala al-amwat yarhamkumullah. Basically, people are going to trample you. So these are the two options that you have. And there are some certain situations that you may get into this. So you need something that is strapped on the back. And are you going to be stepped on your feet? Probably many, many, many times. Okay, so that is very important. So that's for the men. So today, inshallah ta'ala, if Allah wills, this is Hajj rituals part number 2. We will cover the day of Tarwiyah. We will cover the day of Arafah. We will talk about Muzdalifah. We'll talk about day of slaughter, or Yawm al-Nahri. We'll talk about the stoning, and we'll talk about farewell Tarawih. Brother Hassan, could you pass down my notes? I totally forgot about that. That would be important, wouldn't it? I'm going to give the... Yes, Akhi.
Quick question. So I saw in the checklist that there are some walking shoes, like sneakers for men.
Yes.
Do we really need those?
That's because you need those... I know. You need the sandals when you are in ihram. But if you are out of ihram, what happened? You need very good walking shoes. So we'll talk about it. Yes, you definitely need sneakers also. So you need very good shoes, inshallah, as well. That is when you are in a state of out of ihram. If I could ask you, if you have spouses or if you have other people, you could share the notes with your spouses, unless you... So if you and a spouse, keep one and pass one. I need my shoes back, don't take it.
I already put it in my bag.
You already put it in his bag. Don't take my shoes. Is there someone here who did not attend the first Hajj workshop? You did not? You did not? Are you with her or you're not?
Yeah, my dad.
So she's going to give it to you.
We live with my dad.
We'll charge him extra.
Thank you.
So all of these notes, by the way, are on what? On the web. You could also download them. Brother Hassan, inshallah ta'ala, will help you out with these, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, may Allah reward you. Jazakallah khair. Okay. So this is, inshallah ta'ala, what we will cover today. House rules. The class starts what? At 10:30. And ends when? It ends? At 1:30 is about what? For adhan al-dhuhr. I tried to end up a little bit earlier so that I could wrap my stuff and I would be able to pray dhuhr, inshallah ta'ala. So that's very important. If you come in late, what do? Do you ask for handouts? Brother, I've missed the first handout. Can you give me a copy? What are you doing if you are asking about handouts? You are basically not only disturbing me, disturbing the whole class. I need to cut it off. And what? My chain of thoughts are gone. The people I've lost, and so on. So don't ask for handouts. Just grab a seat and have a seat, inshallah ta'ala. Brother Hassan may help you, or you could definitely get a copy later on. Telephone use is prohibited. No rings. So if you are a surgeon that you are up for, maybe you're going to open someone's heart, by all means put it into what? Into silence or vibrating. You take your phone and you run out and ask some people, ask for help. So again, it's priority. Which is your priority? Forgiveness once in a lifetime, or maybe chatting with your wife about to cook chicken or beef for dinner tonight. So no phone use in class. No rings. That's number one. Number two, talking to people next to you, like your spouse. You are translating for her, or you're explaining things for him. It's not allowed. All your attention needs to be to me, and at the end of each slide, you could ask me these questions. So they are not allowed to talk to the person next to you. Because if you talk to the person next to you, what are you doing? You're really disturbing all the groups around you. Whether you know it or not, you are, and you are also cutting me off. So that is not acceptable. So the ask questions, you'd be surprised. I have a slide supported by another slide, supported by another slide. So wait until I go through a certain stage, and if you have questions, I will let you know, inshallah ta'ala. So, but by the end of each slide, you could, inshallah ta'ala, ask questions. Past and new. Last week, we covered certain things. Now it's quiz time. Last time, we covered the state of ihram. What is state of ihram? So, what is the state of ihram? Making niyyah of ihram, and what else? What else? Making the niyyah for ihram at the miqat, and where everything comes together. All the requirements is the ghusl, taking a shower, tayyib for men if you would. They may do certain shavings or cutting of their hairs, and they would not pass that miqat until they are what? They are in total state of what? Of ihram, right? And they have the niyyah also. Whether when we're making tamattu', if you would, we're making the niyyah for the first time entering is to do what? For umrah. So the niyyah, labbaik